And welcome to Mental Health Matters with Mish on this rainy evening in Rockingham today. We're going to be talking about loneliness today, and with me on the other end of the phone I have Kez. Hi Kez, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. Thank you for joining me this evening. It's lovely to
You're
talk to
welcome.
you, and I know we've spoken many times before, so this isn't a first for us. So we're used to this interviewing larky. Now,
Yes.
I particularly want to talk about loneliness, and the reason why I like to talk about loneliness. One is the Loneliness Awareness Week is coming up in the 3rd of August till the 9th of August.
Yep.
But that's just one week. You know, why are we talking about just one week's worth? Where loneliness is an ongoing thing, and I believe personally, because I have my own life experiences with loneliness, that loneliness is a massive thing to do with mental health issues.
I agree.
So what's your take on all that? What's your story?
Well, it's not so much my story, but what I've recognized over the years is that grief comes in many forms. Sorry, loneliness comes in many forms.
Mm.
Mine's been my own experiences in grief, but I'm also, as a writer, I tend to sit back and I watch a lot of what's going on and I try and figure it out myself.
Mm.
And as we just talked about, I was on a river cruise lately, and this one woman particularly took my eye, and she was non-talkative, and it sort of it got to me in the end. Like everybody else was talking
You mean
and
by
getting on
but
well.
you mean by when you say non-talkative, do you mean antisocial or just unable to speak?
Quite, yeah, very. I wouldn't say antisocial because once she got into a conversation, you could see she was struggling, but
Okay.
she would talk.
Yep. A bit
But there was
aloof.
something behind it. And so I happened to be sitting. I saw her sadness. That's what I saw.
Okay.
And I didn't recognize the look in her eyes. I didn't recognize it.
Hmm.
And then finally, I caught a bit of conversation she was having with a woman that was opposite me. We were sitting at a table, and I heard her say, my husband was supposed to be here with me on this trip. And then she
Mm.
started wiping her eyes. And I just thought, oh my God, how silly am I not to have seen
Mm.
that look? And I've seen that look on so many people's faces, and even just recently.
Yeah.
And so I checked in with my daughter, and I was telling her about this scene I had just seen and been part of. And she said to me, "But Mum, you had that look on your face about 2 years ago when your bestie died."
Mm.
And I said, "Did I? I didn't think it. Nobody knew." And she said, "I knew. I saw that look on your in your eyes that said, 'What do I do now?'"
Wow. Mm.
And I didn't know I carried that look. But it's amazing what we as people we rush by in life and we don't recognize the look in someone's face. And it's not just about grief, it's about loneliness.
Yeah. Yep.
What do we do when just a simple, like a not even a hug, Mitch, but just like reaching out and touching someone's
It's
hand.
just a connection,
I know,
isn't it? You lose the connection.
well, I know it's not done today, but when I was a kid, and I was brought up on, I had lots of aunties, and I was brought up on their knees as well, and
Mm.
my grandmas, and it was like if someone was missing in the family through, no matter what it was,
Mm.
sickness, whatever, death, whatever, there was always someone that gave you a hug and said, "We're here.
Yep.
We are here as your family, as your sisters, as your friends, as your confidant, as your nana, as your auntie, as your mum or sisters."
Yep.
It was like, and I think it's gone.
Wow, that's sad.
I do. I've had.
Yeah, I think it's the family connection, really. We've lost that.
Yeah.
Um, and when you said before that you didn't notice the look in her eyes, I mean, honestly, how many people absolutely really look in people's faces, really look at them? I don't think people do
True.
anymore. They tend to look
No,
down, they look away, they look to the side.
we're looking at our phones mainly.
I know. We're very good at doing that. But
Yeah.
people don't really look at you. So they'll never see, because they say that what is it, the entrance to your soul is through your eyes or something like that, whatever the saying is. So you really
Yeah.
see how people are feeling when you look at them properly in the eye. But people don't do that anymore.
No, they
And I
don't.
don't know why. I don't know whether people are scared or
Well, it is. It
selfish.
is.
I don't know.
No. I wouldn't say selfish, but it's confronting, isn't it?
Correct,
You know,
yeah.
it, just say the word. We use the word loneliness, and we put the word death alongside it. It's confronting.
Very much so, yeah.
But if you put the word loneliness and you put the word grief alongside it, it's not as confronting.
Yeah, death is a difficult word to have any time anyway. But
It is.
I
But, you know,
think
people,
loss
yeah,
to
carry
me,
on.
loss would be a word that I would use as well, because it's not only, you don't only get lonely through death, but you can just a loss of a friend, a relationship breaking up, so a loss
True.
of any type really.
Yeah, so to me, loneliness is a loss,
Mm.
but it's also, I guess there is a lot of women that I know that are self-employed. We're all out there beating the drum for, go with me, book with me, talk to me. I'm your confidant, and all this stuff,
Yep.
and really and truly, it's I have to question it. Are they doing it for business, or are they doing it so they
Mm.
can just talk to someone?
It's funny you should say that, because that's the whole reason why I'm doing my podcasting, is because I feel that I'm having a connection with somebody because of my loneliness. I'm getting something
Yes.
out of this because I'm actually getting to talk to somebody. And I know that sounds really sad, but that's my reality. This is why I'm getting something out of it, because I'm getting a connection, but I'm also allowing people to give their stories out for others to be connected, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, what you're saying is 100%.
Yeah, and it's also that, you know, when you become a senior, you literally do turn a corner. You really do. I mean, when I was younger, I was an artist and a poet and a writer, and I was well and truly received all over the place. But
Mm.
as I've gotten older, I've noticed the tide has turned, and people are going for the younger ones, and that's okay. That's the way it should be. But I also see the seniors that were in my life as a senior.
Yep.
Like there's one of my colleagues is in her, I'd say late 80s, and she's a brilliant mind, brilliant woman,
Mm.
but totally ignored by the community around her
Wow.
because she's unwell.
Wow. That's
And I just, it's
bad.
sad.
It is
Sad.
sad. It is very sad. It's almost it was ageism, isn't it?
Yes,
That's another big thing. That's a whole
it is.
conversation in itself.
It sure is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really do think that loneliness has it has so many subtitles to it.
Yep.
We're just not aware of them, and we haven't really dug into it yet. We think, oh
Mm.
well,
Mm.
someone's lonely. I'll say hello and invite them out for coffee or something like
Mm.
that. But even that, the world has gotten busier. We are much busier than what we ever used to be. I can remember lying on the lawn and making grass angels, and my mother just
Mm-hmm.
sitting outside talking to my aunties, like, we had all day.
Yeah.
We had all day. There was no, she was a part-time worker, but
Mm.
with my family and my next door neighbour's family and right down the street, no one, I could knock on anybody's door and say, my mum's busy, can I come in for half an hour? And they'd let me.
Yeah. Yeah. But that was I know it was a totally different time. Neighbours were neighbours. I mean, how many people actually know their neighbours properly? There's a couple of neighbours that I don't want to know, to be honest. But there's one neighbour on my one side who'd be there for me at a drop of a hat. But how many? I really would like to know how many people actually know their neighbours by
Well,
name.
when I moved into this place, and that was 15 years ago,
Mm.
I knew the old lady. She would have been in her late 80s then on one side, and she passed away. And then on the other side was a gorgeous family, and they started having babies, and we got to know the babies,
Oh.
and we got to know everybody in the family, and they were just lovely.
Mm.
And then they moved away, and now on one side of us is a young woman, and she's busy. She's a nurse, and she's working odd hours.
Mm.
Now and again, she'll poke her head over the fence and say, "Hello, how are you?"
Yep.
But nothing
No.
like it, no conversation,
No.
just hello, how are you?
Yep.
And on the other side are two young men, and they also say, hello, how you going?
And that's it,
But
really.
nothing, yeah, that's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
if I died in the house tomorrow, I don't know anyone, if anyone would check up. I said, I am married and I have a
Yeah.
daughter, but
Yeah.
apart from the neighbours knocking on the door, I don't think they would.
Yeah, that scares me, isn't it? That's awful, isn't it, to think that someone could be left out there and not known.
But it happens.
It happens a lot, unfortunately. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know. It is sad, and I think we're getting worse with that. I think we're getting the family connections are breaking down. The neighborhood connections are breaking down. I mean, we can't even go into a shop now and have a conversation with the cashier because there ain't any cashiers. I remember we used to live out in the wheat belt, and I'd go down. I'd have to go a few kilometres to get some milk because I'd go in to get some milk. I'd get home like 2 hours later because everyone wants to chat. Everybody
That's
wants to
right.
have a chat. Now you go in, you get out, and you're home within 10 minutes.
That's right.
It's
Yeah.
you don't even have that connection anymore. I mean, I think that cashiers used to hear all people's life stories. I think but now you don't even see one anymore.
Well, it's the same as hairdressing, really.
Yep,
The
yeah, they were
hairdressers,
counsellors. Yep,
yeah, they literally were.
yep,
You could go there and tell them a life story and have a good old
yep.
breakdown, but these days it's like you're a number.
Yeah, and I think as well. I know I was watching recently Clarkson's Farm,
Oh,
and
I love him.
so do I. Jeremy Clarkson has bought a pub, and he
Yeah,
was saying in one episode that he said if the pubs, because there are so many pubs for sale, he said if the pubs go in these small villages, no one's got anywhere to go to talk. They're like
that's right.
they're like a community,
They are.
meeting area. Like you. I mean, you're from New Zealand. You know about your meeting places in your villages. That is what a
Yeah,
pub is in Pommyland. So yeah, so it's the same thing. We just don't have that connection and a place to go anymore. Like yeah, okay.
you know
Some of us still go
what's
to the
funny?
the
is-
hairdresser, but that's not very often anymore. It gets
Well, when
expensive.
I was over in England, my brother-in-law, he took us to the pub a couple of times, and the funny thing is it was a small pub. We
Mm.
went down there for dinner, but as you walked in, the conversation stopped. We were strangers.
Yeah, yeah. They can be a bit clicky for sure. Yeah,
For
clicky. Yeah,
sure.
They're-
So
yeah,
and then when
definitely.
you go to the pub here, it's just noise, so
Yes.
much noise. And what people don't understand is, and I find this with my own personal life, is my husband is very, very deaf,
Mm.
very deaf, and he wears hearing aids, and even the doctor has a problem, getting him to understand.
Yep.
And when we go out for dinner quite often, we go out with friends and stuff
Mm.
like that. And it's because of the din
Yes.
of the actual pub itself,
Yes.
or the restaurant, that he misses out on a lot of conversation.
Yes.
That also, although we talk about it, him and I talk about it, and we discuss it. You can imagine if someone had nobody
Yeah.
to talk to.
Exactly.
They went out to have a conversation, to be sociable,
Mm.
but they're missing out, and there's this nobody that stops and says, so and so said this and this was funny.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah, I have that issue. We take my mother-in-law out, and she's in her 90s and has hearing aids, etc. But why is it that these pubs have music on for a start? No, I'm not talking about live music. I'm talking about background music. That's a killer for someone with hearing aids to start with.
That's
Then
right.
you've got all the conversation and the chat all around you, and it can be quite noisy.
Mm-hmm.
She misses completely the conversation. Like she'll just drop off because she just hasn't been connecting at all because she doesn't know what we're talking about. So we
That's
try
right.
and find somewhere that's quiet, but you try and find somewhere that's quiet. Turn off the blooming
Well, you
music for a
can't.
start.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can
So
people
yeah,
connect?
but talking to the audiologist, she was saying to me, like, I went on with my husband the last week, and she was saying I was telling her about this podcast coming up about loneliness, and I said it's going to be interesting because I'm going to bring this subject up, that people that are hard of hearing, even people that have less sight than others, their sight is affected. If you've got a health issue, that there's a loneliness mixed in with it because you're missing out.
Definitely.
And when you take them aside and say, did you hear or see? And they say no, then it's your responsibility to say, oh, that was really funny, or that was really sad, or did you like the meal? But they don't get it.
No, they don't. I'm a support worker during the day, and one of my clients is totally blind. And he says that, you know, he's asked out to places for dinner by family. He said he'd rather not go because he'll say hello to everybody, he'll sit down, and then he's completely lost because he doesn't know what's going on. So he says, I'd rather just stay at home, which is sad. You know, he's been asked to go in a four-wheel drive on the one of the four-wheel drive tracks or something like that with his daughter. He said, I couldn't think of anything worse, sitting in the back, can't see anything, sitting in the back of a car for hours on end. So it is difficult when you have disabilities, for sure. And that's just, and as you say, that's just one umbrella. You know, when it comes to loneliness, there's so many others.
Well, the other one that I was talking about on the cruise that just went on the Murray River, it was like the other fact. Well, there was another umbrella that was open, and I was quite unaware of it. Is that when people don't speak English?
Yeah, definitely. That's a major issue.
It is a major issue. Now, I actually went and had some X-rays done today, and the young man that did the X-rays spoke very little in English, and I had to really listen to him. Yeah.
Wow.
A lovely guy. Lovely guy. He offered me pillows. He knew that my back was sore. Offered me a pillow. Offered me this. Offered me that. Made sure that my glasses were on the right way. had a joke with me, you know. That I have any zips in my jeans, and if so, you know, you don't have to take them off, madam, but you know, we do keep them down by your ankles and da da da. And he was just lovely. He really was.
Yeah, but I would have thought that people in that type of career would have been fluent with English.
I would have thought so too, but he wasn't, and I really had to sort myself out because you know I'm a working woman, and my time was I was only there for a certain amount of time, and he was obviously working as well. So, you know, but just to turn around and say, look, I'm sorry, could you repeat that again, please?
But can you imagine, like, he's not being able to understand English very well. He can't talk English very well. You can't understand him because he doesn't speak English very well. What if you had a hearing issue as well as that? It'd be impossible.
That's right. Yes.
Absolutely impossible. Yeah.
When we laughed about it because it sounded to me like he said something totally different, and I was a bit thinking, that doesn't sound right. But, you know, he was just, I think what we need to do as a society is just take a step back.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. It's getting worse and worse.
I know it's not.
I hate to think how my grandkids are going to be, you know, in whenever they turn up. But, you know, in 20 years, 30 years' time, can you imagine what life's going to be like? I mean, I won't be here for it, but gosh.
Would you mind?
No, I don't want to be here in 30 years' time. Thank you very much.
Oh, really?
No,
oh my goodness,
gosh.
Oh, my goodness, no.
No.
I don't think I will be here in 30 years' time. That's a fact, but you never know. And I think we really have to keep banging that drum, Mitch, about, you know, just a simple fact of listening and watching. I felt really, as I said before, on that river cruise, realizing that woman was alone, and she just recently had a husband, and not recognizing that look, the greyness around the face, the eyes were hollow. And I've seen that look in my life. I've seen that look many times.
Yeah, unfortunately. Did you go and speak to her in the end?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Oh, you know me.
Yeah.
You know me.
Good for
It's
you.
like, hello, love.
Did she open up then?
No,
Okay. She wasn't ready.
she looked frightened. She was
Oh.
frightened of me.
Was she there on her own completely on the cruise on her own?
Yeah,
Because her husband should have been there with her. Oh, that's awful. At
yeah.
least she went. That's courageous.
But why?
Don't know. Well, she probably felt like
See, if that had been me, I would have said, no, forget it.
probably me too. That's why I'm saying it's courageous for her to do that because I don't think I could do it. But
No.
maybe it was something he really, really wanted to do, and she thought, well, I'll do it for you. I don't know. Anyway, we can't talk on her
Yeah,
behalf, but
it didn't come up. But she actually looked because I guess I'm tall and I'm a bit bouncy and I'm friendly, and it was like she sort of looked at me like, "Are you going to hug me?" So,
did she
and I
did
thought,
she
"Well, no,
want
I'm
that, or
not."
do you think she wasn't?
No,
No. Okay.
no,
Okay.
she literally shrunk away from me.
Oh,
But I reached out and touched her hand, which she flinched,
yeah.
and I thought, you really, whatever the situation is, you're lonely and you're really feeling it.
Yeah.
So she was cocooned in her grief,
Yeah.
and I only realised it then. But I also, I've seen it so often, and we just ignore it.
You
We
didn't
just walk
realise what
away
it
from
was
it.
back when you seen it before.
Yeah, and I was talking to my daughter and my husband. I've talked to other people about it because it's something that I could actually sit down and write an article about it. But
Yep.
it just, I don't know. I just thought, oh my God, loneliness comes in so many packages.
Sure does. And
Whether
people can seem so outward and confident. I mean, I think people see me like that most of the time, but inwardly, I'm lonely. But I don't let people see that. But that's why I do this with my mental health because I want people to know that that's okay to not feel good. It's okay to tell people
see,
I'm
when I
lonely.
first met you, you were a radio show host.
Mm.
When I first met you, and you were top of the game. You were bouncing around the
Yeah,
place. You were
see, and
always
that's not me. Although,
no.
is it me? I don't know whether that was me or not, to be honest. Is that the
Well,
real
was it?
me?
Did you enjoy it?
I did
That's the
enjoy
thing.
it.
Well, there you go.
I did
But
enjoy
then
it.
again, it can actually, giving up volunteering your time so you don't become lonely
Yeah.
can actually become a bit of a drag because then you're expected to volunteer non-stop.
Yes, correct.
And your body gets into, your mind thinks, well, if I don't volunteer, I'm not worthy.
Correct. 100%. You've got it right on the you're on the nail in the coffin.
Well,
Oh no, no. What was that hammer on the nail?
it
I
might
don't
be
know.
different to everybody else, but that's the way I
Yeah,
volunteer as a radio show host myself.
I know.
But
Congratulations on that, by the way.
oh, thank you. Yeah,
It's
yeah,
been a long
one of my
time coming.
I know. I got busy. I was just
You're
busy.
always busy. I don't know what you would do if you had to stop.
That's the thing, Mitch. I do stop.
Do you?
I do.
Can't imagine you do that very often. I suppose when you
I
sit and read, that's your stop.
I guess so, but I often people fascinate me. And one of my favourite places, I think I put a post up about it, used to be the airport. Used to go into the airport and sitting at the when people come in and go out, etc. Watching the emotions flit across faces.
That's true.
But then I found the bus stop was a totally different place to be.
Wow. How
Now
do you
I
sit
was
on a
at the
bus stop?
Adelaide, yeah, I was at the Adelaide main bus stop to catch the river cruise, and I ended up directing people out of a door that wouldn't work because they were on their phones and they were literally bumping into a glass door. They had a big sign on it saying out of order.
Oh, you're kidding.
No, I'm not.
Faces
I don't know
in
how
their
many
phone.
people. I don't know. There was a guy that walked up to the door on his phone and kept waving at the door for it to open. Just kept waving.
That would have been hilarious to watch.
Well, I went up to him and I said, "There's a sign on the door," and he went, "Oh, so there is," and walked off. Not even a thank you. And I thought, well, that's gratefulness. Well, I won't tell you next time.
Oh,
But
God.
there was like I was. What people didn't know was I ended up directing people how to use the food dispenser.
Oh.
I'd only been shown about an hour beforehand how to use it myself, but it was so hard to use. It really
Wow.
was a difficult one. So I was watching a couple of old ladies come in, and had walkers with them. They were obviously going on the bus on the cruise,
Mm.
and they were trying to get a packet of chippy, whatever they were, out of the dispenser. Didn't have a clue how to use it, so I went up and helped them. And then I went to the public toilets, and there was two 15-year-olds there trying to piggyback each other and take pictures of themselves in the mirror, which was about as big as a mobile
Oh,
phone,
for
the mirror.
goodness sake.
Oh, it was funny. It was so funny. I said, "Do you want me to take it for you?" And they said, "Yes, please, but can you wash your hands before you touch our phone?"
Oh, my Lord. Oh, good on them. At least they thought
Of
of
course I
that.
can. Yeah, of course I can. So yeah, washed my hands and took photos of them on the phone. Look, there was all ages and all sizes, and it was
Yeah.
just fun. And I
Yeah.
just thought, I did it in the airport, but here I've been interactive with
Yeah.
with the show. So it was really funny. So there's all sorts of places, but again, that woman I was just talking about
Mm.
that was only on the cruise, she was in the bus stop. She sat in the corner there,
Mm.
and she never interacted with anybody.
Wow. Well, I hope
And
she
I
had a
think
good time.
too, it's not all about us. It's not
No.
all about they. If you're lonely, then reach out.
Yeah, yeah, yes, I know that's definitely the answer, but sometimes it's difficult to do that because you get wrapped
I
up
know
in
it's
your own
difficult, but
grief or
but
whatever it may be.
but when you're not, I suffer with anxiety.
Mm,
Now and again, I've got a big dose of anxiety, and I'll think, okay, I know, to me, knowledge is power. So I know what to do. I know how to do it. I know
mm,
what to do. I do
mm.
the touch method. I make sure that I'm sort of grounded.
Yep,
But but if I didn't have that knowledge, I'd be going to the doctor for antidepressants or something like
that's
that.
it.
Things
Yeah,
wrong with me.
yep,
And I believe that knowledge is power. And if you have the knowledge that you don't have to be lonely, if you went down to the Autumn Centre, I'm just talking about Rockingham here.
yep, yep.
If you went to the Autumn Centre or went and joined an art class or
Mm,
some sort of class that got you involved, you don't have to talk non-stop. A lot of them is like hand drawing or pastel drawing or
mm,
making clay pots. You're not actually talking, you're doing.
yep. But you're connecting in that way.
That's right, which just takes your mind off the fact that when you go home, you're going to be lonely. But it must make it. Well, I know it made certainly when I first moved to Australia and my husband went working in the mines,
Mm,
and I had nobody here. I had nobody.
yep.
I didn't know anybody, and it took me a huge leap of faith to make friends with one woman I thought looked rather nice, and happily she was a Kiwi. She'd moved over here. She knew the ropes, and she introduced me. And then I got the courage to go to Trinity College in town, and I found, as I said, I love learning, so it was a knowledgeable time for me. But I had to, I was lonely, and I had to reach out to.
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. That's definitely correct. Yeah. Yes.
It's not just up to the people watching on or relatives in the family. It's
No.
up to.
It is something that we have to do ourselves. There's no one can do it for us. We
That's
have to
right.
do it ourselves, and yeah, it's sometimes it's easier than others. Days are up and down. Some days it's easier, but I've noticed with looking into the loneliness side of things and community here in the Rockingham Kwinana area, that I've noticed there's a heck of a lot out there for people. There's a lot, and you just need to find something that you will enjoy. And if you don't know what you enjoy, maybe give everything a try. Here's me talking. I should listen to my own advice. But there's so much out there for everybody in this community. There's so much, and it's
There
wonderful to
is.
see.
Yeah, it is.
Mm,
I guess I know that loneliness does exist, um, and I've seen it and I've experienced it myself. I'm not spouting because
mm,
it's a chance just to talk to someone. I've experienced it. I know what it's about, but it really is a time when knowledge is power, and knowledge is also joining into groups,
yeah,
integrate integrating into clubs or groups, and just making that little contact that someone will say, "Look, I'm going out for coffee after this. Would you like to join me?"
yeah. That's as easy as it is actually. Yeah, exactly. But my thing at the moment is though that's all very well said and done, But what about the people who can't get out for whatever reason? Could be disability, could be social anxiety, could be physical, could be mental, whatever reason they cannot get out of the house. They're the ones that I'm concerned about. And that's why I started Connection Cafe. It's a Facebook group that people can connect via our bloody phones. Because what else do they do?
Well, isn't there some sort of... Now, I'm not an expert on this, but I do know that when my mother passed and my father was very, very lonely, and I'm talking my mother passed when I was just turned 30. So there was... the doctor suggested that to my father that social workers step in and they sent someone around once a week.
But you've got to get NDIS or My Aged Care package, and they're not easy to get anymore. So yes, that is one option, and that's something that I will definitely suggest to people. But if you're not NDIS, if your disabilities or whatever it is aren't covered by NDIS, or you're not of an age to get My Aged Care, how do you get that extra support?
Well, what about a church group? They go to your home.
Yeah, I've got a feeling that Red Cross might do that. This is something I want to look into a bit further, because there's got to be places out there that do it.
I think you'll find
Salvation Army, of course. Yeah, Salvation Army probably, definitely. So I'm going to research this a bit more, because there are so many people out there that just can't get out of the home that I want to be able to assist. So that's my next challenge. But anyway,
I think you'll find that Salvation Army will welcome you. I really do.
Oh, look, I've taken clients to Salvation Army before, and we've been very, very welcomed. And the religion side of it is not pushed on you at all. They're very welcoming and very assisting, and I applaud them in every way. I think they're amazing with what they do. So I probably will drop in and ask them that exact question: is there someone that can go out and assist people in their home?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the only way I'm going to get an answer, is to find out. And as you said, it's education that is the key. So that's my next step, I think.
Good.
Thank you so much. It's been great to talk to you.
Lovely to talk to you too.
And I appreciate you coming on tonight. It's a blooming awful weather out there.
It's pouring down.
Absolutely pouring. So keep warm. Thanks everyone for listening. Hope you enjoy and get something else out of it. But yes, loneliness is a big part of our mental health crisis, I call it. But there are options out there for everybody. And if you need assistance, then I would suggest either you ring Lifeline and others, and I'll put them on my Facebook page, and also speak to your GP, because it can be very difficult sometimes, especially if you're going through grief and loss of some sort as well. So thanks again, Kez, and loss, and appreciate your time, and I'll talk to you soon.
No doubt you will.
See ya.
Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.